Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Politics and Wellness. I'm your host, Captivating Christian, and of course, you guys are definitely my co-host for this evening. Now, first, before I get started, I want to apologize for being super duper late, but it was definitely this movie that I got so caught up into that, yeah, you can blame the movie. So that's why the first hashtag is damn this damn movie. But the name of the movie was Coma, for those of you who might have been interested. And yeah, it was pretty chill. It was definitely pretty chill. I did enjoy it. Check it out. It's a little sci-fi ish if you're into that sort of thing, but definitely a good, cool movie to watch. Hey, this beach is better. What's going on, love? Nice to see you. And to whomever else is in the balcony, welcome. So, all right, a lot of stuff has happened. A lot of stuff is happening. I will gloss over some of the most important things, and then we can talk about whatever else anybody has heard about in the news or anywhere else. First, who let's talk about this. This I don't even want to say president, but the levels to which these cronies for this particular president will go. An all-time low, I think. And I don't even want to say Republicans, because at this point, I don't even think the Republican Party exists. I truly believe that once the racist Tea Party was able to enter, once Obama became president, I think there was no longer a Republican Party, which has been a sad case of events. But for those of you who may not know, the Attorney General in Texas has submitted documentation to the Supreme Court. Hey, what's going on, Just? How you doing, wifey? YouTube wifey. Let me get that straight. I don't want to have nobody come after me. That the AG of Texas has actually brought forth papers to go to the Supreme Court to question the election results from places that, of course, Trump did not win to become president of the United States. Now, some people say, oh, well, it's not really that big of a deal, but it is. It really is. If the Supreme Court is allowed to hear the Attorney General of Texas argument in regards to this past 2020 election, this would bring in a whole new level of states' rights and what states and what rights states have in overall elections, not just elections that involve their state, but everywhere else. So it is totally crazy that I'm just like, damn, Texas, really? Is it that serious? Like, he won Texas. Be happy. He won Texas. That's all you need to care about. The fact that you are pushing for this president to be reelected by any means necessary is a bit ridiculous. But yeah, the Texas AG is actually pushing to have the Supreme Court decide if Donald Trump should be president. And it brings to question, like, will states then have the authority to tell other states what they can and cannot do? It's just like overstepping boundaries here. And, of course, they get their cue from the president. But overall, I think at the end of the day, if we're going to say that the actual people decide on who their elected officials should be, then therefore we need to then abide by those rules, regardless of who wins. You abide by it. Okay, you lose an election, you keep it moving. The fact that these people are so determined and so dug in their heels to maintain this power starts to even have me question, why are you trying so hard? Why are you, scratching and clawing so hard to either remain in power or to make sure that this man, this particular person, remains in power when there's evidence that he clearly does not know what he's doing and has no capacity to actually govern the country effectively. So then it's like, well, what are you getting from this? Or what is your aspiration for this? Because if it's to obtain any kind of real power, then you're kind of going about it the wrong way. Because if you really wanted to gain some kind of real power, you decide, okay, the people have decided they don't want him to be president, so you find another way to kind of get back to the circle of the White House. By doing this, I think you limit yourself. When this all goes down in history, you will be the people that have decided to let democracy burn for whatever reason, whether it's, Russian money that is backing a lot of these politicians' pockets, which I think it is. We need not to forget that Vladimir Putin himself was a part of the KGB. He knows how that whole spy thing works. He knows, a lot of deep, dark secrets about a lot of people. Whenever you do go to Russia, if you happen to be somewhat of an influencer, he knows your every move, and he is, reported on you daily wherever you go. Hey, everybody, welcome. Thank you for popping in. Hey, Auntie Donna, always great to see you. And I know I'm late, so I won't keep you all long. So, and that's my fault. I was watching this movie and it got me caught up. But I just think that at what point do we really take ownership of the fool we let in, right? Because, we can put the blame on Republicans. We can do all that. But we played a part in that too when we didn't participate, or, we didn't take it seriously. We just went and voted and was like, whatever, whoever wins. They both have parts that I don't necessarily like, but there was no enthusiasm there. We kind of got this person that, we figured it was going to be bad, but to this degree, no, I don't think nobody knew that he was really going to tank it, and they were going to allow him to tank it to this degree. I do believe that people thought, okay, yeah, he'll be president, but, the politicians won't let him do whatever he wants. The politicians who've been in office for years and know how Washington works and how democracy should be, they won't dare allow him to do these things. And lo and behold, we've seen moment by moment all of these things that we thought people were going to safeguard kind of chip away. So it gets moments where you do get kind of nervous, like, damn, like what else will you allow him to do just to remain in power? It's a bit ridiculous. And by the Texas AG overstepping not only states' rights, but, you're going to take it upon yourself to go to the Supreme Court to back the president, who's only the president for what, a month? Less? Yeah, a little more than a month. For what? Like, you cannot be beholden so bad or want to be in somebody's good graces so bad. There have been so many Republican presidents that people have not gone this hard for. And he's not even a man of stature to really go hard for. Like, people ain't gone this hard since Reagan, I want to say, for a Republican president, for like Reagan. And Reagan's policies were shit. And he was an actor. But he did, at least try to be diplomatic and be a statesman. I mean, he sucked at it, but he tried. the fact that this man, doesn't want to try, doesn't really care, doesn't care nothing about the people. Everything is about himself. Everything is about his bottom line. Everything is about, well, what can you do for me? And, set almost 75, damn near 75 million people voted for that as okay, as people are dying. So, we do have to take a step back and start looking at ourselves and kind of examine, what do we find important? What values do we hold? What values do we kind of let slip by? And just really take a look at ourselves. I just think that that's crazy. But on another note, Bill Barr has actually, Fred Flintstone have an ass. He, of course, contradicted Trump on his finding evidence of election fraud or anything of that nature, and has basically said, well, he's looking to quit before he gets kicked out. Now, do I find, grace and happiness in that? No, because it's almost like, and it's like a lot of these Republicans now, since he's lost, are like, well, he's lost, so now I'm just going to bow out gracefully. But no, for 4 years, though, you've been with the shits. You've been with all of the policy makings. You've, kind of tried to undercut the special prosecution that was going after him in regards to the Ukraine situation, when he asked the Ukrainian president to basically get dirt on Hunter Biden and Joe Biden in order to get protection funds, really, that they needed, because Russia's on their doorstep, like, we're about to take your country over. And then you got Trump on the other end, like, we'll help you and we'll send you money, but the first thing you got to do is get me dirt on Joe and Hunter Biden and say that they are part of some sort of corruption. And, make them look bad, basically cheat, you know what I'm saying? And this is way before, 2020 even kicked off. So you can imagine to what depth he would go, because he got away with it the first time. So, it's like, you're surprised, but not surprised. But again, so getting back to Fred Flintstone over here, he's like, well, no, I didn't see any evidence of fraud. So, he lost, and, we're going to move the country forward. And that's just that. But it's like, not so fast, Fred. All the bullshit you was with naming Black Lives Matter a terrorist group. You were with signing up the death warrants for plenty of people on death row, which they are killing right now as we speak. You were with the shits for all of it. You know what I'm saying? So this is not new. You were with the shits, sending the protesters that were across the street at Lafayette Park, across the street from Washington, D.C., gassing them so the president can go across the street to hold the Bible upside down, mind you, and take photos looking stupid. You was with all of that. So I want to make sure that we, do not breathe a sigh of relief and go, okay, all this is over. We can keep moving. Like, no, we cannot like have a sigh of relief. This is not the time. This is the time to make sure you writing down the names of all these mofos that, praise the president on his BS, was for it, was, marching to his drum, because now what they're going to do is try and shift it and act like, oh no, I wasn't involved in any of that. You got Bill Barr trying to back away now. Like, no, dude, you can't back away now. You was with it. Go ahead, stand with it. You got Mike Pompeo trying to back away a little bit because he's thinking about running for Kansas senator, which I duly hope that they don't allow his ass to get in there, because he's a monster in and of himself. And he's also got caught by the finance committee because his ass has been having political dinners on taxpayer dime. So we have been paying for a lot of the Trump's administrations looking to do other things politically, we've been paying for their dinners. We've been paying for all of these things. So when the bill comes, that little tax, cut that people praise Trump for, oh, you're going to have to pay that and some. And then what they're going to do is they're going to spin it. Oh, see, look what Joe did. But no, Joe's got to pay the bill that hasn't been paid. Trump's calling card, not paying bills. This is exactly what's going to happen. So we'll get into a place where, hell, we'll be trying to come out of this on a positive note, yet and still faced with so much debt. Hello to everybody that come in. Leo the Lioness Queen, always great to see you. Thank you for popping in. So yeah, this is basically where we're headed with that. So it'll be fun to see how these people react. I did hear that Trump may be planning to, he's supposed to be going to Florida for the holidays, and he's probably going to stay there and not attend the transitional thing that, everybody does respectfully when, when somebody loses. I mean, I don't understand, but it just brings a whole new level. I mean, I really don't even understand that. It's like, for me, if you told yourself as being this macho man, this man's man, even speaking to my black brothers who were so like, oh, well, Trump, Trump is just being a man. Yeah, okay. So he's being a man. He's really telling you that, you lose at something. You can't even be respectful and congratulate the winner and be a man with dignity and respect. No, you got to pout about it. You have to do anything in your power to make sure that you don't, that the transition does not happen smoothly. And then on top of that, what the fuck do? You sit back and go, well, you know what? I'm not even going to show up to any of this. And not to mention, behind the scenes, what we're not hearing and what we're not being told is that there is a transition moment, right? And behind the scenes, all of the top secret stuff, all of the government secrets are basically open to the incoming president and vice president, everything. So if they wanted to see what the administration has been spending the taxpayer money on, they can see whatever they want to see. Nothing is supposed to be, withheld from them, because it's almost like the new president, right? It's almost like a training, like when you're in a job and someone is training you and, you go through all the modules and you get to see everything, you get access, and somebody's like, right, like watching you and shadowing you. It's kind of the same principles. But people in his administration have been blocking access to certain things. So they'll get access to this, but they won't get access to that. They can get access to this, but they won't get access to that. And it's like, come on, like what kind of shit are we doing? I mean, I really start to think that these people are like, you know what? If I can't have what I want, then I will torch the whole thing down. Because at the end of the day, I will still be remembered because the textbooks are going to talk about me. So either way, I'm going to still be talked about. And I think at this point, that's the way these people think, because they're not even concerned about leaving something for someone else. They're concerned about the right now. They're only concerned about themselves. So they could care less what their children, grandchildren, so on and so forth, would ever think about what the hell they're doing, because they don't really care. Which is sad, because at the end of the day, these people still have to live here. So, like, once these grandparents or parents have gone, you still have kids, grandkids, or whatever that have to live with the mistakes and the monstrosity you left. So, I find that to be interesting. They discovered works. It's silly. And it might, who knows? But it is totally crazy. Let's see what else. I know it was something else before I forget. Uh, but as far as that, that's where I was with that. I'm over Trump and his mess. I just really wish somebody would just be like, get it together. I really wish Mitch McConnell with his turkey neck ass would really say, you know what, enough's enough. We need to move forward. Because even him, he's smug about it. He won't do a stimulus relief package for the people that are still suffering due to the president's lack of action in the beginning of this pandemic. And that's interesting, being that, you know, Georgia is up for grabs right now, and there's a mad dash to make sure that Republicans stay, you know, in the stay powerful in the Senate. But there is a possibility. I mean, people say, "Oh no, you know, there's no chance Georgia will go red." People just didn't want Trump to be president, but they won't vote for a Democratic Senate. We can't say that. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. The more these people show their asses, and the more frustrated people get, you never know, you know, what's going through someone's head when they actually vote. I mean, take 2016. Who really thought that Trump was going to be president? I really thought it was a joke when he did it. I mean, I thought, like, come on, y'all can't be serious. Like, it's a good joke, a good kiki for him to do the debates and all that. And then once I started seeing how they were just giving him airtime constantly, regardless of what he said, it was just airtime. I said, oh, damn, he's about to be the nominee. And not for nothing, not for no policy, not for anything of that nature, just for the simple fact for people that, you know, do not research and anything like that. Whoever they see on TV the most, they gravitate to. Because, you know, to them, it's like, well, you're on TV a lot. You must be important. It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? It's like advertisement. If I keep throwing something at you, eventually you'll be like, you know what? Let me check this out because I keep seeing it. It's just what it is. And then you end up with a Donald Trump who, you know, when you asked him about a policy, did you get one? Did you get a legit, this is what I plan to do? No, you'll see it. It'll be real big. It'll be the biggest thing ever. I got really smart people around me. I did this. You know, this economy will be really big. I will, you know, make this better than any other president. Blah 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 blah. Just, but nothing of substance. Everything just whatever, you know. But no one questioned it, you know, because again, people thought, well, okay, he's whatever he said, but I'm sure the people behind him will be creating the policies. And you see what you got with that? You got Mike Pence absolutely doing nothing but praising Donald Trump. That's all everything was about, praising him and what a good job he's done. And the reality of it is he walked into something just like the rest of his life. He had inherited someone's work. He inherited someone's work. Story of his life. So it's like, well, what did you do? You didn't do anything. You walked into something that was already given to you, that was already worked out. The kinks was worked out. All you had to do was sit there, continue on, pay attention to some things, and you probably would have got reelected. But lo and behold, here comes the coronavirus. And I mean, to appease your people, you know, those who are openly racist and those who are, you know, closeted racists, you start calling it the China virus and all that kind of stuff. And people thought, oh, that's funny, the China virus. He called it the China virus, which is extremely racist, regardless of where it came from. But you call it the China virus, and you know it's laughed about, it's joked about. Yet people were dying across the world before it even hit the United States. People were dying and taking it seriously. And it's nothing like a cold, common cold. Yet, of course, we have recordings that, he talked to the author. And that's another thing. The dude that wrote the first book about him while he was in the White House, Rage, I forgot his name, but he did the second book. How are you going to really interview with the man again, knowing that he recorded you the first damn time and took everything you recorded and put it in his book? So you're going to really interview with him again, knowing damn well he's recording your entire conversation, even when you say, hey, can this be off the record? And he says, yes, Mr. President, it's off the record. And he's lying. I was just like, yo, how dumb can you be? So anyway, he basically said he knew that it was going to be of a really bad virus or whatever, but he didn't want to scare the people. Okay, so not scaring the people has caused you to have, where are we at now? Like almost 13 million people infected and rising, damn near 300,000 people dead, and that's rising. Winter is approaching, and we will all have to be in close quarters with either asymptomatic people or people with COVID, period. So let's see how that works. And all because you didn't want to take it seriously. Even if you didn't know what you was doing, you could at least have people put in place, which they were already people put in place due to, again, the Obama administration having a action plan because of the Ebola breakout that had happened overseas. And then they just sent the scientists over there like, hey, go see what's going on over there, see what you can do, see how you can help, see what research you can bring it back. Let's work on something before it spreads to the United States. We had a handful of cases before it was said and done, and I think maybe 1 or 2 deaths. But that compared to what? Almost 300,000 people dead and 13 million sick. Even Giuliani, his damn self. But I mean, I knew the man was sick when he sat there and blew his fucking nose in the same handkerchief and then wiped his fucking face with it. I mean, just like, who does that? But yeah, and that's a whole nother thing. That Giuliani, that testimony, bull crap, just a waste. But this is the type of energy that we allowed, and we get what we pay for. Almost like you get what you pay for. When you buy cheap, you get cheap, and that's just what we did. But we had a moment to change that, and people did. Now, am I saying Biden is the best candidate ever? No, he's not. But he's not even meant to be. You know what I'm saying? He's not meant to be the person of change and ushering this United States into a hugely diverse, more inclusion type of thing. He is just he's almost like the crossing guard of that. He's the crossing guard. That's all he is to do. Kamala or anybody coming up behind Kamala would be someone that I would even say, okay, this is the person that's going to bring real change and inclusion and diversity to government. So we start to see people that really look like us. Biden is, again, still there to help usher old white folks and white folks in general who still can't get over this United States being including other people. Because for so long, even if they, I don't see color. You saw it. You saw it because you saw how people, even your black friends or your other friends of color, you saw how they were treated. So you had to see it. You chose to ignore it, thinking, what, if you ignored it, then it would make somebody else feel bad. But once you leave them, you go into your circle, you don't get treated that way. And when you're in the other person's circle, you see the difference and you know it. So It's just like, really, if you want to see change, you have to be that change. And that's just what I say for, a lot of people that, um, especially a lot of Caucasians who like to say, well, I didn't necessarily agree with Trump, but there is no but. If you are against uh, racism, if you are against uh, chauvinism, if you're against, I could go on about everything that Trump is, then you would just be against it. And, okay, so you get some taxes that you may not necessarily agree with. All right, cool. But again, it's like having a house. It's like having a house. You buy a house or you buy a car, and you may not like everything about the house or the car that you may have bought. You probably wish, I wish it had this, I wish it had that. But overall, I like it. And that's just all this. That's all this is. Like, you will never have a candidate on all levels that is absolutely perfect. You won't. But the reality is, they have grown up to a world or a nation where everywhere they looked, it celebrated them. It celebrated them and their accomplishments, not the real history, that the accomplishments that these founding fathers, quote unquote, accomplished was on the backs of a lot of black people, men and women, not just slaves, but people who had written documents, who had put forth arguments for the United States that were stolen from them and given to others to make it seem like, oh no, it'd be better, suited for the nation and history if it says I wrote it, if it says, that I actually was the first American president, instead of who was actually the very first president of the Continental Congress. Because that person, or the actual, should be the actual person, or the president of the colony should be the actual president of the United States, the first actual president. Then you can go into, well, then once we gained independence and went through then we voted, and George Washington became the official first president. But you should at least acknowledge that there were other presidents before George Washington's wooden teeth ass became president of these United States. But of course, again, you're not going to say that. You're going to make sure everything that follows in your history line involves you and makes you look like, wow, we've accomplished so much. But what have you accomplished? Everything that you have accomplished, you've stolen from other civilizations. So what for did you accomplish? But oh well, what do I know? But anyway, so yeah, there's that. There's police killing black folks yet again. I'm over that. I really am. And to me, at this point, with all that is going on and all the attention from the Breonna Taylors to the George Floyd, you would think that even if you were a police officer that didn't really care for black folks, that didn't really care for people of color, that you'd kind of be on your P's and Q's a little bit, because you don't really want no heat to come, to your job and anything of that nature. But again, when you're dealing with the president that, fans the flames of hatred because, he hates too, but he has the money to hate and still kind of chum up like, I don't really hate you, but I do hate you. But the average person doesn't have that. All they have is their hatred. You know what I'm saying? So they will be able to just ride on the coattails of their hatred. So if you're fanning flames of hatred, yeah, they'll ride with it. I mean, the young man in Ohio had a Subway sandwich in his hand. He was going to either feed his family or feed himself, regardless. When a SWAT team officer, who they were looking for some other suspect, okay, that they had a warrant out for, somehow got so in I don't even want to say entangled, but so intrigued by this other young man that he had to follow him all the way home, proceed to, have him freeze. And I guess he was not paying him any attention because he just figured, like, why are you following me? I'm just going home. What's the deal? I told you I don't, obviously I don't fit the description, so on and so forth, and shot the man. And then tried to make it, of course, when they give their reports are so different from the actual event. He, talking about they got into a situation, and that's how he wound up getting shot, and that the man had a gun on him. And of course, he was so scared for his scared for his safety. And that whole, these people with authority being so frightened and scared for their lives is to me at this point just straight BS. Like, seriously, you're the one walking around with the gun and the badge, the backing of not only the city, state, county in which you represent, law enforcement, the Justice Department. What else? What am I missing? Unions. Not only do you have all that backing to where in which whatever you do, you could sweep it under a rug and be fine. And at the most, lose your job, keep your pension, move to some other town and still become a police officer because they're not going to do no background check. And even if they do a background check, are they going to care that you happen to kill a black man or a black woman or some other person of color when you move to this hick town that has about 3 sheriffs in it? No, they're not going to care. So you're going to wind up getting a job anyway. So you shoot this man 3 times in the back as he was entering his dwelling. And you lie about it. So much so that the family had to come forward and say, no, that's not exactly what happened. I was sitting on the damn couch when you shot him. And you were not having any kind of scuffle. Not only that, but of course, when the detectives went searching for this particular gun that this young man was said to have had, there was no gun, even though he was a licensed carrier of a firearm. And again, here we are dealing with this kind of double standard. It's okay for Billy or any other, and I'm getting a little angry, so it might come out, but it's okay for Billy or any other crackerdacker to have a gun, wield it, walk around with it in plain view, threaten people, intimidate lawmakers, wanting to kidnap governors. All that is okay. All that is, we're fair game. All that's cool. But you mean to tell me you can't be black, a black man at that, and carry and do the same thing that you let Billy Bob and all these other red, purple, dingy necks, all these other people walk around and do. You let them just find it in the, hey, what's up, rebel? You let them just freely do that, and that's okay. But even fire upon people. That 17-year-old dude that killed 2 people, injured a third, was set bail at $2 million cash and got it paid from Richie Rich and the My Pillow guy and some other people that, of course, was anonymous in their donating. I'm probably Kid Rock. I'm sure Roseanne Barr, and the list goes on and on. So again, this is when we have to be careful and protect who we support, who we buy, who we support in viewership, all those things, because it matters. Because granted, that person may be an actor or an actress or a musician, and you say, well, their music or the job that they do necessarily does not coincide with that, but it does. But it really does. It really does. We need to start, pay more attention to that. So yeah, the kid got out $2 million paid in cash through funding. Yet you have black men and women who are sitting waiting for trial dates in jail that are innocent, but they can't afford to pay $500 or $250 or whatever the bail bond might be. They can't even afford to pay that, so they have to sit in jail until trial. But a 17-year-old kid with this other 21-year-old man was on this Facebook group, this militia Facebook group that they have, where in which he felt, oh, we're going to go out and kill ourselves, some protesters. They drove 2 hours to Winnetka, Wisconsin. 2 hours. Talking about they were defending shops. What shops? You live 2 hours away from somewhere. Why would you have a business 2 hours away? Because you don't. You know what you was going there to do. Stir up trouble. Shoot some people. That's what you wanted to do. And that's just what he did. And what did those lily white cops do? They allowed him to get away with it. To go home. They gave him water, all that stuff. Water and everything. Did they tear gas them? Did they put them under arrest? Did they really find out if they were licensed to carry those weapons? No, because they figured, oh, yeah, no, we're not going to question them. They're helping us out. They're the good guys, right? Right. So lo and behold, the 17-year-old didn't even have a license to carry that particular weapon. That particular weapon belonged to the 21-year-old, who also got charged for giving the 17-year-old that weapon that he killed 2 people with and injured a third. Like, make this make sense. Make it make sense. They went and killed a 12-year-old boy, rolled up on him and shot him. I know y'all remember Tamir Rice. They didn't ask no questions. They didn't ask, where's your mother? They rolled up on the boy, okay, still in the car, pulled out their guns and shot him. They did not get out, ask him any questions. Where are you supposed to be? Where's your mom? Blah, blah, blah. Nothing. Rolled up on him, shot him because someone said that there was a boy in the park with a gun. Like, come on. Enough. It's enough already. Enough. But I don't know. I just think that we definitely need to get far more active. Like I always say, all this is fun and it's cool to release and get away from the stress of all that is happening. But we always have to be mindful that while we sitting here laughing and joking and having a good time and dancing around the campfire, Master and them are sitting there looking at us, still plotting and planning and scheming. And we need more Nat Turners in the world to actually want to say, you know what, whatever it takes, and I may not make it, but I will fight to get there. I'm not just going to compromise. I'm not just going to bow out gracefully. I'm not just going to be the overseer, Master's overseer, by saying all of the things that white people say and think anyway, to make them feel better about their hatred that they already have. Like Candace Owens and, countless others. Because the team done went off the rails. They done already told people in Georgia, don't vote because it's already rigged. Like, the hell? What are you doing? So now you're going to tell Trump supporters not to vote because the voting is rigged. So now if the Republicans really do lose Georgia in this Senate runoff, who are you going to blame? Who are you going to blame? All this so some orange man can stay in power for 4 more years and do what? Continue to make money off the backs of who? He's doing enough. He's got his what? His reelection campaign that 60% of the funds actually go to his pockets, and then 40% actually goes back to the DNC. Now, mind you, the president still owes states that he's had rallies in to pay for security, extra security, extra police, um, you know, the venues. He's owed plenty of states, and he has not paid them yet. So, I mean, know what we're dealing with here. Definitely know what we're dealing with. So I employ anyone who lives in the state of Georgia, please, you have January 5th to continue to fight and press on. Shout out to everyone in Georgia, but especially Stacey Abrams. And mainly because she knows what the Republican delegation out of Georgia is capable of. Like, yeah, now they're mad. Yeah, plenty of them are mad and pissed, and they have every right to be, because you got Trump supporters threatening their lily wives and their sons and daughters and even themselves. And, when it was directed towards us during, many times of civil rights, even before and after, it's okay. Or any other Democrat, it's okay. It's all in, it's all in politics. It's all fine. But now they get to, because, Trump's loyal base is a different breed, the breed from the Tea Party. They get to now witness that harassment for themselves. And now, of course, they're like, what? Hell no, we can't. What do you mean? Threatening to kill who? Are you texting someone's wife and threatening them? What are you doing? Why are we doing this? This needs to stop. Mr. President, you need to say something. What does he need to say? For 4 years, he's been saying the same shit for 4 years, and y'all been applauding it, clapping, standing up, wiping your noses, spreading your damn coronavirus. Y'all been happy with it. So now, as the great Malcolm X would say, the chickens have come home to roost. And therefore, that means this is what you created, all of this. So now you got to deal with it. So the death threats will continue to come. Even asking for Kemp to step down and resign. Of course, they would ask for Kemp to step down and resign, because Kemp did the same shit so he could be governor. And the fact that he's not doing it for the president of these United States is preposterous, because they let him do it. Nobody questioned Kemp. The only people that questioned Kemp was Stacey Abrams and her team. And they uncovered the fact that as the Secretary of State, Mr. Kemp, Governor Kemp, just wiped away 500,000 votes. Either said that they had moved, changed the address, or that they were dead. And the reality came that, no, most of them people weren't living. They may have moved, but they were still living. They're doing it now. They can only get away with, they tried to do it, but they got away with what? Was it 200,000? Which the state of Georgia is being sued right now. So they're trying to, they're trying to purge it any way that they can. But, we'll see. We will see how far this goes. But again, Kemp has done it. So there's not, this is not anything new. Kemp did it to Stacey Abrams and won by the slimmest margin because he cheated. So, of course, Donald Trump was expecting Georgia to go his way, whether he won it legitly or not. So, of course, he's angry. If I let you cheat and I don't get my people on the fact that you cheated, why would you not return the favor? But yeah, the people are mad, and the Republicans in Georgia are mad too, because now they're feeling that. the death threats, the this, the that. That's not something that they get. They give it. That's not something that they get. So yeah, we have to continue to press on, folks. Continue to press on. Again, building this table. Because everybody's talking, oh, I just want a seat at the table. I want a seat at the table. No, I want a table. I don't want a seat. I want a table. Building a table takes time. But it also takes work. And you're not always like to actually put the pieces together to build that table. And it's not always going to look great at first. Again, because you got to, there's a process. You got to sand it. You got to do all these things, polish it and all this kind of stuff. And then finally, when you got the finished product, it looks great. But it's not going to look great right now. And we need to get out of that mindset that everything we think, oh, you owe us. You need to give it to us. You owe us. And granted, Biden, hell yeah, he owes us. He knows it. But we owe it to ourselves, more importantly, to hold these people accountable. And not just in good faith. Like, oh, well, we did you a solid. Hopefully, we hope you do us a solid. No, demand the solid. Demand it. Even from your own lawmakers. Don't think because you're in a Republican state and you Republican legislators, oh, hell, you got a pothole that you need to be filled. You keep writing that letter or going to that congressman or that state representative and or that city council. Keep doing it. They do it. When they don't want you in their neighborhood or they don't want your Popeyes in their neighborhood or they don't want whatever they associate with either black people or people of color in their neighborhoods, what do? They go to the town halls. So why can't we? Again, because we don't get involved. It's okay. So then we become the dumping ground for all the liquor stores and the this and the that that you wouldn't dare see in the quote unquote suburbs. Hey, Queen Diva, how are you doing? Always great to see you. But you don't dare see that. And you wouldn't. Why would you? But yeah, we gotta do better, folks. We gotta do better. It's up to us. It really is up to us. And again, I'm gonna say this again. I'm not saying that Biden is a great candidate. He's not. He's not. But when we don't do our part to help push the agenda along, just like as you can see how the Republicans, even some of them that know Trump lost like shit, they still pushing voter fraud. There was voter fraud. There was voter fraud. They still pushing it. Why? Because their goal and agenda is one, is, hey, we don't care that he lost. We'll say it was fake, phony, it was a fraud. We'll keep saying it. Hey, we'll run again in 4 years and still talk about how this election, the 2020 election, was stolen from us. But he told you that. He told you that in 2016 that he was going to do that. I am freezing for some reason. So it was glitching on it. It must have been StreamYard. But he said in 2016, he said it straight out of his mouth, if I lose this election, it's fraud. And he just happened to win. He was surprised too. But this second go around, he had the power to wield the presidency, to force people to change and manipulate. But people were like, yeah, that's cool and all. But if I get caught, I'm going down. And there's nothing that a presidential pardon can do to save my ass. Because I will forever be tarnished. That's not something you're going to wipe away real quick. And what the president failed to realize is that the states, some of them, minus a couple AGs, Texas, whatever, had realized, hey, that's a bridge too far. I can't do that. I would ruin my entire life for you when I know you don't give a shit about the Republican Party. I know you don't. Hell, he was a Democrat for years, chilling with lock her up Hillary, feeling young titties Clinton, Bill. I mean, they were chilling with what's his face, the dude that quote unquote killed himself. Why can't I think of his name right now? But Jeffrey Epstein, him, they were chilling with him. But of course, you know what was gonna happen? Jeffrey was gonna tell it all. Jeffrey said, "The hell you won't keep me locked up in here, because I'm gonna tell everybody secrets. I'm gonna tell who all's been at my parties and soirees and who likes the younger, more tenderonis. Who likes the tenderoni boys, probably, who likes tenderoni girls, Lord knows what kind of secrets that man had. And what happened to him? He was executed to ensure that none of those secrets got out. Hell, that lesbian looking best friend of his, she's scared out of her mind that she might be next. Scared. Because again, she knows stuff that, in fact, if it got out, people can't turn a blind eye to that. Like, nah. So, yeah. It's just, it's really, I mean, you talk about it and this stuff, it's interesting, but it's really dangerous how power and corruption is so rampant that, when a person said, "Oh, I'm coming to clean the swamp," nigga ain't clean no swamp. He brought the swamp with him. He just upgraded the swamp. Like, the swamp was already swampy. He just upgraded it. So he just upgraded the swamp, and that's all he did. So that's it, and that's all. That's all I have for right now. If anybody has any comments, questions, or concerns, this is the part. I'll drop the link. I just ask that you please be respectful. Don't start none, won't be none. If you have any thoughts, anything you would like to add in regards to what's been going on, anything that you've heard that you thought was interesting, please do share. I don't hear everything. I try to watch as much as I can, but I do miss some stuff. So it is definitely important and helpful that, you guys see stuff and hear stuff and be like, hey, you know what? I noticed that. So I appreciate that as well. And yeah, and I think that's about all I have. Don't forget, guys, this Thursday will be the gentleman's panel as always, and it will be hosted on Official Campaigns platform. So please make sure you head over there on Thursday at 7:45 Eastern, 6:45 Central Standard Time, and hang out with all of us, myself, Rebel Sun, Conscious TV, Official Campaign, and Brother Jay Wilson. Hey, Queen Diva, how are you? Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you. Oh, what? You got a picture in your thumbnail? Oh, is that the new one? Yes, I think that's new. Is that from your birthday? I can't see it. It's small. But yeah. But really, that's all I had. I hope you guys have a great night. Don't stay up too late. I do have some stuff I'm working on for tomorrow. So I will be getting to that once I leave here and listening to whatever's going on in the, will I be taking the COVID vaccine? I don't know about that. I don't really know about that. I did, something did flash across my screen shortly before I came on that the COVID vaccine from, I think it was Pfizer, was at 70% efficiency rate, which I mean it's cool, but the rushing part of it makes me nervous because we don't know the full side effects of the of this drug and how it would affect. I mean, being that coronavirus has already affected people with Black people, period, you can just imagine what will happen later on with people who, were fine and then all of a sudden took the vaccine and then had a reaction to it. So that worries me. Yeah, I know. Originally, they did say 90. I could shoot it to you now. They said it's at 70% efficiency, and I think it was Pfizer, if I'm not mistaken. But again, a lot of these drug companies are rushing to be the first one because, of course, that's historic. You'll be the first one in a pandemic to actually come up with a vaccine. You'll be in history books forever. And then it's almost like winning an Oscar. You go around charging people what the hell you want to for your drugs from that point on, because people will always trust your drugs coming out of your company because you were the one that saved the world. So I think that I'm not a fan. I won't be a fan of taking it. On that note, though, Joe Biden did say that he will not make it mandatory that people take the vaccine. That is still an option right now. It will be mandatory, however, for healthcare workers and essential workers who, people, hospitals, police officers, I'm sure, all essential personnel will probably have to take the vaccine. So that may be a bit problematic, but you can still decline to take it for religious reasons or there are other reasons. I did post it in my community wall some time back. I'll repost it again, but you can decline to take the vaccine. Now, if you are an essential worker, you have to take it in order to keep your job. Now, that's where the stipulation is that, if you may have to take it or risk losing your job. Yeah, it has to be stored somewhere very cold in order for it to be effective. But I don't, again, it's almost like, I don't know. I mean, we know we're dealing with a president who was really trying to rush it so it could have his name on it. I mean, you even had people like Geraldo talking about, oh, let's just call it the Trump drug. Let's just call it the Trump drug, like to appease him, to make him happy. So he can be like, yeah, look, are you taking Trump? Are you taking Trump? No, who the hell is going to do that? I wouldn't. Hey, Shanette, how are you? Welcome. Yeah, but I mean, if they named it Trump, you can imagine people wouldn't even, I know I wouldn't. You named it Trump, I'm not taking it. No way. Not your company will force you to take. Right. And then that's a whole nother thing. You have many states that are what is called free will states, meaning that they can hire and fire you whenever they feel like it. And this could be a way to either downsize a lot of companies that, don't want to go through the process of paying out unemployment for months, even years, depending on how long people may be unemployed, to simply put in the wording, hey, if you don't take the vaccine, we have, the right to terminate you and not pay you any kind of compensation as far as employment is concerned, because these are the new guidelines set by the CDC. It's possible. We always try to be like, no, they can't. don't ever talk about what someone can't do. Again, the states are different. Every state has a governor, and some governors are right on the line with Donald Trump and his ideology. So you never know what governors um, are cooking up in regards to forcing people back to work, safeguarding money going out uh, for whatever reason, and kind of pushing it forward. Like, oh, we got a vaccine. Okay, everybody get back to work. Like, and the silly thing is people are more concerned about going to bars and hanging out and doing stupid stuff than actually like, well, what does this mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does this mean for, first of all, the hospitals that are already overcrowded? Then, okay, you start giving people the vaccines, and then people start having reverse reactions to the vaccine, to in which then they have to be hospitalized in hospitals that are already packed. Like, you talking about a shitstorm? You ain't seen nothing yet if people start having severe reactions to this vaccine, because vaccines take a long time to really like work out the kinks, like years to really work out the kinks to get all different kinds of demographics and people to figure out, okay, this works for that group. We can lower the dose for this group because of their genetic makeup. Seems like this part of the drug affects them more in this kind of way. They go through all that nitpicking before a vaccine is like, hey, we'll shoot it up. It's so much so at this point that they're even looking to children for school. Like that will probably have to be something that you will have to do in order for your child to be enrolled in school in the coming school term. So it's a lot, and it's a lot to put on parents. It's a lot to put on people to want to, of course, they want their children to have the best education possible, but at what cost? Yep. So at what cost? What you say? Did I also see Kellyanne Conway was appointed to another position today? Please. She looks like the crypt keeper to me, but she's another one. I think she just does it for clout. Between her and her husband, I just really, I mean, I get it. I get it. You could have two people in the house, have two different political views, but what is that saying? Like, how are you really conducting yourself as a family? And, your husband is literally on air airing out the president, and you're like, well, he's a good guy. Like, you're just alternative facts to everything. It's ridiculous. At what point? It just looks foolish. But yeah, I mean, ain't too many positions left. I mean, pretty soon they'll be out of a job anyway. So I don't know. Right. And you're absolutely right. I thought she was staying home and focusing on her family, but I guess somebody lied. But we're not immune to that with her alternative facts. I guess her staying home and being more circled around her family was an alternative fact as well. And not to mention that the only reason why she decided to focus on her family is because her young daughter was basically clowning her on Twitter for supporting the president and a lot of his foolishness, to the point where people started saying, like, what kind of mother are you? You sit up here and you promote the president, and yet your daughter is looking at you. What kind of example are you setting? And, when people started looking into their family dynamic and their marriage, they both decided to take a step back. He stepped down from the Lincoln Project, and she was supposedly had stepped down from White House duties, but of course not. What'd you say? I normally don't believe in cancel culture. Yeah, I don't either sometimes, but there are some people like that need to be canceled. Like Trump needs to be canceled. And I swear to you, on January 20th, if they even mention a Trump. And I usually watch MSNBC more than I watch like CNN, because CNN placates too much to that. They try to hold on to the Trump fan base with some of the stuff that they do, and it's just like those people are unreachable. Please, so I don't even try to even. It's one thing if you can have an open mind about issues, and you may not agree on every issue, but you can see the common thread. It's like, some of these people don't even see a common thread. It's just like, no, because Biden's gonna do this. Okay, and you know that how? Oh yeah, she definitely needs to be canceled. Somebody get Betsy DeVos the hell out of here. But yeah, I mean, of course, I'm sure the whole DeVos family has been appointed to some sort of position in somewhere in the administration. The DeVos family gives millions and millions of dollars. They have given millions of dollars to the Trump campaign. That's how Betsy DeVos got her position. Her and I believe it's her brother also got a position in the Trump administration. So they have been heavily rewarded. Even, people paying for pardons. Kilpatrick paid for a pardon. If you don't know who Kilpatrick is, he was the mayor of Detroit, who wasn't doing nothing different than this president here, kind of finagling funds and doing all kinds of, stuff that normal crooked politicians would do. And of course, because he happened to be a brother, they threw the book at him. And, he was just pardoned by President Trump. But of course, now that we know that President Trump was selling pardons, which, of course, who's surprised about President Donald Trump selling pardons to the highest bidder? I mean, he's looking to make money to profit off of himself, not the people, And that's, I think, why he let a whole bunch of people die on death row, and they're killing them now because he figured, they want clemency. How are they going to get it? They got to pay for it, and they can't afford to pay for it. So he's going to let them die. Not to mention that he knows Joe Biden, doesn't agree with the death penalty, so he figured he'll kill them anyway. So that way they won't have a chance to survive and live under a Biden administration. But I definitely has a lot to do more with one, they don't have the money because that speaks first to him, and two, they happen to be probably black or some person of color. I know a few of them were. One happens to be white, but of course he's not white with means. So, it's like the rest of his Trump supporters. They don't really have the means. He would not, be entangled with them or be around them if he wanted to, because he does not socialize in their circles. But they don't know that. I mean, he said it, his last campaign thing when he had to go to, I think it was Erie, Pennsylvania. He told him, I don't want to be here. I wouldn't have to be here. Well, I would never come here. How do you say that? You got supporters who live there, who probably lived there their whole lives, who support you, and you're going to sit there and tell them you would never come to a place in which they live if you didn't have to. And the fact that you have to be there is the only reason why you're there. And lastly, before I go, it's funny to me how, you have all these black supporters or people who have just become woke at the fact when Donald Trump and Joe Biden were running, and how the Democratic Party has been taking advantage of the black vote for years and decades, and we need to stand up for ourselves and say something. But it's funny how none of these same people, now that the election is over, none of these same people have said anything about Trump's fight to get rid of tons of votes, even still, from black areas, predominantly black areas where he lost. the presidency in many of the states in question, like Pennsylvania, like Michigan, and Detroit. None of these, you know, woke black folks. Oh, we need to do better. Oh, we need a plan. Oh, we need to demand a plan. Oh, I have a plan, and I sent it to Joe Biden, and they didn't give me no time. But somebody in Trump camp was willing to listen to me, Ice Cube. But you don't have shit to say about them ripping the votes from your own people. Save me with the bullshit. Okay, just save me with all of the bullshit. I don't even want to hear it. At this point, I don't even want to see can we get there? Are we there yet? Barbershop cut hair 15. I don't want to see shit from none of these mofos. I really don't. Because it's absolutely stupid. You had all this shit to say about, oh, we need a plan, we need a better plan, we need a financial plan, and excuse me, Roland Martin questioned his ass, put his ass on the fire. Like, well, did you know that there were plans already made? Have you actually read Biden's financial plan for Black people? Well, no, I mean, I'm looking at it now. What do you mean looking at it now? If you talking about you've created a plan for Black folks and you're submitting it to either candidate, but you haven't looked over theirs, like, you don't even make no sense. But now that it's all over, right? And again, if we're talking about inclusion or wanting to be included or wanting to be a part of the conversation, it's over. You don't have nothing to say that the fact that he's going after your Black vote, whether it's a Republican or a Democratic vote, he's going after the Black vote, period. But y'all don't have nothing to say. Not a damn thing. So Candace Owens, you don't got shit to say either, right? Right. But these people will say that they're Black, though. First thing they say, well, I'm Black. I'm Black too. The AG in Kentucky, you don't have nothing to say about them stealing Black votes, right? You have nothing to say about that. Yeah. I mean, I figured you wouldn't, of course. You married Turkey Neck's granddaughter. I don't know. I'm just saying, again, it's cool to be woke. It's cool to, talk all this wokeness and Democrats taking advantage of the Black vote, and we need to stand up and all this. That's great, because yeah, we do. But we also need to call out bullshit when people try to take our vote, regardless of whomever we may have voted for. You don't know if all those people in that particular city voted for Joe Biden. You don't know that. It just happened to be so that the majority of the votes came from there. And that's just how it happened. And bam, you wind up losing. Okay, great. You really thought you were going to win? Did you really think you were going to win, though? And granted, if it wasn't for this pandemic, you probably would have. Let's be very clear. The pandemic was a curse and a blessing all rolled into one. Had this pandemic not have happened, a lot of these people would have just voted for Trump again, just because, well, he didn't do that bad. So I'm just trying to, I'm really trying to get it. Help me understand something, because again, if at the end of the day, my vote matters from my people, right? Because we always talk about how, we always supporting Democrats. We need to be supporting whomever, and we need to look to the Republican Party too, instead of just always looking to the Democrats. Okay, like the Kimberly, whatever her name is, the lady who was running for Elijah Cummings, the late Elijah Cummings seat that Kwame Nkrumah had won in the special election, but he had to run again. That chick, did she say anything? She walking through Baltimore with her son, of course with security, but acting like she walking through the hood of Baltimore all by herself in heels and shit. Talking about, oh, look what the Democrats have done to this city. Look what the Democrats have done to this city. Yeah. Why you ain't saying nothing about this president? purging black votes though. Well, because that don't matter. That's too much. That's too much. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Just like the pandemic was God. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Just a little bit. Hey, bench thinker, how you doing? Yeah, just a bridge too far for me. Just really a bridge too far, and I can't rock with it. Because again, your vote, regardless, if my vote is being attacked, if my brother or my sister's vote is being attacked, that's my priority then. Why should I be concerned about what party that they might have voted for? Their vote is under attack. And the fact that you can sit back and be okay with that, but come out there flapping your gums on anybody who would listen to, oh, we need to stop supporting Democrats. Come on, men. We need to stand up. Our black men need to stand up. So much so that he's got an increase. He got an increase of black male votes since 2016. In 2020, there was a jump in black male votes for Trump. Now, you mean to tell me all y'all voted for Trump, y'all okay with him purging votes from your people? I'll wait. You might as well have been the same one to be like, well, I mean, Hattie Mae got whipped, but he ain't whipped, Massa ain't whipped me, so I'm okay with that as long as I don't get whipped. Like, what the hell are you? Sit your blind, unwoke, dumb ass all the way down. Have several seats. And that's for anybody. Like, they starts talking that, oh, we need to stop. Have you said anything? Because if you ain't said anything, then you could just sit in the back. Sit in the back. Because you would rather sit around, watch your people. So it's very clear. You'd watch your people get slaughtered. You would stand there and watch your people get killed, as you have. You would stand there and watch tons of George Floyd's, tons of Tamir Rice, tons of situations of Breonna Taylor, and not say anything. Not say nothing. You'd be okay with it. Because as long as it ain't you all right with that. It doesn't affect me. That's bullshit. Definitely is. And again, we need to start calling out all these folks. And melted ice, Ice Cube's ass. He disappeared for a while. Then he's like, oh yeah, I know y'all haven't seen me, but it'll start doing credit repair commercials and all types of shit. Like, what the fuck are we doing? What are you doing? You talking all this mess about bringing us out and us wanting more. We got to do better. Why? Because these Republicans have put money in your pocket. Is that why because then the reality and the truth comes out, even if he doesn't say it. You get to see it. So if this white man is walking around here talking about I want all the votes from Philadelphia, Detroit, anywhere that's black, I want them rooted out. So then therefore, we could really show that I won the election fair and square. And you could sit there with your black ass and be okay with that. It's bullshit. That means that lets me know, and I don't give a shit what he says, that you got paid. Who paid you? Turkey Neck? Did Turkey Neck pay you? Or did the Trump administration promise to pay you? Because you won't get that check. Yeah, I could never look at Ice Cube the same. He no. Like I said, I don't give a goddamn if he came out with Barbershop 13 and put Kamala Harris in the bitch. I'm not watching it. Not watching it. I'm not doing it. I'm not paying for it. I'm not nothing. He lucky that I don't even know where my old barbershops are, because I would be, I do like the white folks. I'll start burning them and breaking them. Like, it makes a difference. You've already paid for the shits, dumbasses. Yeah, I'm burning my jersey. Yeah, go ahead and burn it. Nike or whatever, whomever jersey it is. They've already gotten their money. Stupid. We know your thoughts change when tax bracket changes. But I mean, but even that is crazy though. Like, okay, your thoughts change on that because your tax bracket changes. But the reality is the majority of your family is still in that tax bracket though that you left. Right? So the fact that you can't even go, well, you know what? I can afford an increase in my taxes. It won't hurt me. But the fact that my family, I'm not even talking about my people, my family can sit there and have to pay more taxes now, working little odds and end jobs, paying more taxes than I'm paying right now, making buku money. But I just want to keep this money for myself. The fuck? I can't. It just don't make sense to me. It just don't make sense. And maybe somebody can help it make sense to me, but it really don't make sense. It just don't. It really don't. I mean, I don't get it. From the Little Waynes with his old retarded gremlin looking ass, you know, even 50 Cent, because 50 Cent said it his damn self, but then, you know, the white chick had to come and check him. And mind you, that even that was like, ew, y'all, are y'all screwing for real? Tracy Handler? Really? You went from Vivica A. Fox, as far as, you know, somebody popular that we know he was dating, Vivica A. Fox, to Tracy Handler. She looked like Martha Stewart's sister. Like, ill. Like, ill, no way. But anyway, he goes and says, you know, oh, I would vote for Trump because he helps me save on my taxes. So, but what about your family that still lives in the hood, that are paying more taxes now than you ever were since you became of a different tax bracket? Like, yeah, I'm sure Lil Wayne is looking for a pardon. But the funny shit is, do you think Lil Wayne is going to get one? Hell the fuck no. Why? Because Lil Wayne did not come through and bring all of his little Wayne gremlinette to vote for Donald Trump so he could win the presidency. Now, had Trump won the presidency and Lil Wayne got in trouble, oh yeah, they would have, you know, he would have pulled out the flags and the red carpet and had Lil Wayne over for dinner, just not after midnight though, because he starts to multiply and shit, you know, that whole gremlin shit. But he would definitely have Biden over, and Biden, he would definitely have Lil Wayne over, and they would have a good old time. Now Lil Wayne might, you know, he might have to sit in jail for a while. You know, he might have to sit down. He might have to sit it down, make some bars, make some beats, as little Nene said. He might be dropping beats. Should we abolish Medicaid? No, we shouldn't abolish that. We need to reform. How about we just reform the police department? We need to do something about that. Understand something. Medicaid and Medicare was something that, let's be very clear, was established by FDR. It's nothing new. It was a socialism-ish system, Social Security, all that benefited white folks that were poor due to the Depression. Okay, but he himself, as a white man, rich and wealthy, did not want other white folks to feel that they were less than. Because, of course, if you felt as a white person that you less than and dirt poor, you would then start to feel a little something like, you know what? Maybe I'm not too far different from my black counterparts. The only thing that would separate us is skin color. Oh, no. We can't have that, because then that would bring two forces against the one force. And the one force being the wealthy class, which were majority white folks, white men, some white women, but mainly white men. So, okay, no, we're not going to do that. So, what do? This Great Depression hits, and you got bread lines from here to Kalamazoo, long as hell. None but mainly white folks. Why? Because during the Depression, surprisingly enough, some black folks were able to kind of survive and just, kind of work in communities and do that whole thing and share products and goods and all that kind of stuff. Because why? We were used to that. Thanks to slavery and, other things, we were kind of used to that whole, okay, I need something done. I can do this trade. I can bake this. You could do this. You could do that. And that's how we would pay for products and things to get done and fixed and food and all this kind of stuff. So, of course, white folks losing their minds. I don't know what to do. Oh my God. Oh my God. So fast forward, come up with this plan. Oh, let's do Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, the GI Bill, all these great things. And voila, all these white folks get to move in these little suburban areas. You get home loans, you get all these things, and you feel like, oh, I did the come up. You get to go to school for free. Okay? That's why so many my grandfather went to Yale. My grandfather went to Princeton. My grandfather went to, they went for free. Newsflash, they went for free. Free it and free. So when they came out, they were able to get good paying jobs and continue to build on the wealth for their family. Of course they did. Of course. Are you kidding me? If I got to go to school for free too, you think I ain't got to pay nothing back? And then on top of that, I can walk into a place with my whiteness and they go, where did you go to school, young man? I went to school here. And bam, here you go. I mean, yeah. So when you look at the fact that there are some people in low demographics that haven't utilized what they were given to the best of their ability, and then they look at you like you've done something wrong because you surpassed them, get out of here. So do I think we need to get rid of that? No, but everything needs to be reformed and fixed as the population grows, and things also need to be tweaked and changed. Nothing, is perfect. Medicaid, Medicare, the Affordable Care Act, none of it is perfect. But if it helps people gain insurance that otherwise would not have insurance, I'd rather pay that than to have to pay for a complete hospital being run down to the ground because they can't afford to stay open because of the influx of people who are uninsured and unable to pay their bills going down. So when I'm in my community and I have an emergency, I can't go to the local hospital that is closest to me in my suburb. I got to go, down the road or either be helicoptered to some other hospital because I can't even afford to go there, and then risk I might lose my life in transport because I can't go to the hospital closest to me because they're no longer open. So it's like, you got to give a little to get something. I mean, it's almost like a trade-off, and it's like I'd rather that than anything. But anyway, guys, I have had fun. It's always fun with you guys. Does anybody remember the Affordable Care Act that Obama said it was a living bill and that it would need to be changed? Yeah, he did. And I mean, they all do. And that's the part that I don't get. When people say, oh, they're all living bills. All of them. Every little thing is something that is actually living. The Supreme Court, that is what they do. They go back, they look at statutes, and they kind of weigh the statute not only to modern time, but to what it meant or what the founding writers of the statute meant, and how it can be adapted and fixed and molded to fit modern today's society. That's all they do. So it is important that we pick people who have that mindset and not those that, are just like, nope, we're going to keep it the way it is. We're going to make, abortions illegal again. Okay. And you jeopardize women's health for what? Oh yeah. To make sure that we won't be a decrease in population, but we will start to increase white births. I mean, it's ridiculous. Okay. No one seems to remember that. No, not at all. Not at all. Of course, they don't ever remember anything that Obama says. Why would they remember that? They don't remember anything that a well-educated politician would say. He just happens to be African and white, but no, you don't remember anything he says. But everything this orange cheater, yeah, pretty much, says out of his mouth, you hold it as Bible and as legit. It makes no sense to me. But thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. It's always a pleasure. We always have a great time. Thank you for your input and your, all of that you do. To my moderators, Brother Nate, thank you so much. My YouTube wife, just always a pleasure. It's always great to see you guys, hang out with you guys. I see, King Pain this Thursday. Yeah, I mean, that's all I have. Just be on the lookout. Please, if you haven't subscribed, please like, share, subscribe. It is important for, this whole YouTube algorithm thing going on. Be safe. And keep your distance. Don't be trying to do nothing crazy. Please, we are still in a pandemic. But try not to go crazy. And yes, lastly, mental health is important. I know, a lot of people struggle during this time and the holiday season with depression and being alone, and even during quarantine, having to be away from family and friends. This can be a very trying time on people. But please, if in fact you need help, please seek it. There is a number in my community wall that you can contact. There's a number. I'll play the outro, the old outro. There's a number there. I think I still have it. If I do, I'll play it. There's a number there. You can seek help for that if you are having any issues with your mental health. It is just as important as physical health. So please let us not take one as more important than the other. You have to have physical health just as well as you have to have your mental health well and up to date and balanced. So is important. So I don't ever want to omit that. And especially as, Black folks, we always like to, kind of, that means you're crazy. No, it don't mean you're crazy. Sometimes, hell, if we actually sat down and talked out a lot of the goddamn things that we go through as Black people and in our families and all this kind of stuff, some of us would be a hell of a lot better, and we wouldn't be running to Ayanla Fix My Life and then get mad when she's sitting there telling you in so many words you ain't shit. Because you're so stuck in your head thinking, oh, I'm the shit. And she just basically tells you ain't shit. So then you want to argue with her. And it's like, but you're not, though. Have you seen your family? Like, the stuff, okay. So, yeah. Again, mental health is so important. Please make sure that you are taking care of your mental just as much as you're pumping iron. Make sure you are pumping those feelings and emotions out. And being healthy, all around health is important. All right. So, and however that is for you, if that's meditation, or I know some people say that I look like I light incense and and meditate and all that. And I do sometimes, not all the time, but but I do think it is definitely very important. I'm literally texting. What do you say? I'm literally texting my best friend about therapy right now. Depression. Yeah, depression is really real. It is, and a lot of us, when we go through things big or small, we deal with things differently. And we need to acknowledge that first, because that is always the first step to anything, is acknowledging that you may need help with something. And I know I'm one. I don't really be like, hey, can you help me with this, or I need help with that. I'd rather kind of just figure it out. But we do need to reach out and ask for help if in fact we need help. Again, mental health is important, it's vital, and especially for our community. There's too many issues of mental health go undiagnosed, unnoticed. People grow up to be older and unmedicated, and things go haywire. So please, 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 do not suffer in silence. If you need a number, please email me. I can shoot you out a number. I can find out what state you live in, probably even set you up with somebody you can talk to. But please, please, please do not let this fall on deaf ears. It's very important and vital that we do so. All right. So with that, I'm out. Peace and love, hair grease, and all that good stuff, all that good jazz. I love you guys. All right. So peace out.